You are now listening to the Jay Porks Experience. Listen free on iTunes or at theandydareshow.com. Now, here's Jay!
Yo, what is the word, people? Welcome to another action-packed edition of the Jay Porks Experience. I'm Jay Porks. With me, as always, on the other side of the glass, making sure this is a well-oiled podcast machine. Every week, the ever-popular Nobody. I'll apologize again for being a day late. I live in a place where I'm surrounded by people who destroy everything I love. But moving on. Got a couple things to get to today. Couple things. First, I'm going to start with something I've been building up to for a couple of weeks here. I've been waiting to decide when I was gonna say this. First, let's do some RIPs. Let's do some RIPs first. Heavy hearts for Leonard Nimoy, Spock. Rest in peace. Live long and prosper. I'm doing the thing right now with my hands. And heavy hearts for Anthony Mason. RIP Anthony Mason, who was Sixth Man of the Year on the New York Knicks team that made it to the 1993-94 NBA Finals and lost to the Houston Rockets because even though Patrick Ewing was the best center in college, he never delivered in the big time. But Patrick Ewing's failings should not be reflective upon Anthony Mason, who gave it his all every time out there, and whose barber gave it his all every time he put a design in that guy's head. So, like the Beastie Boys said, got my hair cut correct, like Anthony Mason. I got designs in my head in 8th grade. Not 8th grade, 9th grade? I had some sick design. I wish camera phones were out then. I would have showed you some dope photos. Okay. So like I said, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. Well, I've been wanting to declare this a while. A lot of people have noticed that my Facebook page has become a haven of weed-related articles. Everything's about pot. And people want to know why. And it's not, smoking marijuana is not for me, it's not a fad. It's not something, like, back in the day, people who smoked pot, it was all under the table. It was all like, oh, let's go out back and smoke a joint, you know? And it was all, everything was so like back alley about it. It's not like that anymore. The times, they are a changing, and I'm changing with them. And I may say some stupid things sometimes, but I want to live in a world where I can be a waiter during the day and I can go up to the tables and I can say, hey, customer, how do you feel about such and such marijuana laws? And I want to be able to spark the conversation and discuss it with somebody. I don't want to have to keep the ways I wind down, the ways I meditate, the ways I medicate myself. I don't want to have to keep that a secret. I don't want to have that to be on the hush hush. I don't feel the need to hide. Now, at the same time, I'll clue you in on something. I follow on Twitter, there's an account called Drug Porn. I know you're thinking I'm stupid, but it's a very interesting account to follow to see what the general consensus of youth are getting high on all over the country, all over the world. So the other day, I see a picture of these 3 girls, no older than 16 years old. One has a bottle of Fireball, one has a bag full of weed, and the other one has what appears to be a gun, and they took a selfie with that, and they put that on the internet. Now, that's not a life that I'm about. That's utter, utter ratchetry. That's what that is. So, as much as I want people to know where I stand on things, and as much as I'm going to share with you articles about legalization and articles about, that pot is 117 times less dangerous than alcohol. Let me repeat that. Let me just say that number again. Might be a little crazy to you. 117 times less deadly, less lethal. 117 times less lethal than alcohol. Just saying. Just saying. So if you see me, so you might say, Jay talks a lot about DC for somebody who doesn't live there. Here's what you have to understand. I'm sure I've glossed over this before, but I probably glossed over it in the second half of the podcast, and I'm not sure how many of you make it that far. But we've got headlines in the email segment coming after the break, so never fear. But I have been wanting to get this rant off for a little while. You might be wondering why I care what Washington D.C. does. Well, it's a $35 bus ride from my house. Well, not from from Penn Station in Manhattan to Washington D.C. That puts weed on the East Coast. Legal weed is on the East Coast. That means people who grow weed are going to move to Washington, D.C. And it means that they're going to grow weed there. And then the East Coast is going to have a pipeline to some good weed. Everything I get isn't going to be dry as fuck and falling apart in my hands. And then, the thing is, DC's tough. Because I was so happy that they have this home grow thing where in Washington, D.C., you're allowed to possess up to 2 ounces. You can grow it at your house. You can transfer an ounce to somebody else for free as long as you're not selling it. Okay, that's all good, but now it's legal for me to have something, but where do I get it? I can't buy it because you won't open a store. They don't have cannabis. They were going to have cannabis clubs, but yesterday I was watching them vote on it on C-SPAN or whatever on the internet. Yeah, I'm watching congressional hearings on the internet because pot's involved. So any politician who wants to get the 20-something millennials interested in what you're talking about, first name Mary, last name Wanna. You're going to want to talk about Mary. And you might say, well, DC, they can talk about it, right? No, they can't talk about it. They're not allowed to talk about opening up retail stores because in the omnibus spending bill that was passed to keep Congress open in January, they put in a rider that says Initiative 71, which was the initiative to legalize 2 ounces of marijuana and the home grow system, they said no money, no funding, no federal funding can be spent on enacting this law. And you might say, well, Jay, not arresting people doesn't cost money. And you're right, it doesn't. But if I'm a congressman who wants to open up a who wants to talk about opening up a weed store, it is actually against the law for me to call a hearing and discuss that. I would have to take politicians out to lunch on my own time if I wanted to do that. So the utter stupidity that exists when Colorado made $75 million last year. And some people, and there's articles coming out, and they're saying that number's off. Yeah, so what'd they make? $72 million? I mean, come on. Come on now. And this all stems from there's still people, like, there was a guy on TV the other day. I'll share the video with you. I don't know this guy's name, but if I do, I would fucking go to his house and shit on his face. There was a guy on the news the other day that said that crack babies are formed from all this quote-unquote marijuana business. Said that pregnant moms are smoking marijuana, and therefore crack babies are happening. He said this sentence those words in that order, and the people on the show with him let him continue to speak. As long as people like that and people like Nancy Grace, as long as these people are still alive, we're going to have to be pot refugees. Like I saw de Blasio. De Blasio's on the nightly. Mayor de Blasio. He's on the nightly show with Larry Whitmore the other day. Whitmore? It's on the nightly show, and they're talking about, you know, the decriminalization of pot, and you can have, up to an ounce in New York, you only get a ticket. Arrests are down 60%. Dude, I'm still a criminal. That does nothing for me. And as much as I'm happy that in states where medical marijuana is being passed, as much as I'm happy that it's being upheld, and as much as I'm happy that sick people who really need it are able to get marijuana for medical purposes, as much as that pleases me, as much as I want sick people to have that, that does nothing for me. I don't want to have to get sick. I'm already sick. I'm sick of life, which is why I smoke pot. And another side note, I will share every piece of literature I could find on marijuana. But you will never, ever see me in a picture holding, smoking anything. You will never see me actively doing drugs in a photo on the internet. That will not happen. That's coonery. That's ratchetry. That's savagery. That will never even happen. Until, unless it was legal. And even so, even if it was legal, I'm sure there's some future employers who wouldn't want that. Like, for instance, my boss is a fireman. My boss doesn't smoke pot. From what I understand, my boss knows that I smoke pot. I don't roll in there, eating a bag of Fritos, so nobody really says anything to me. But the one problem I have is when I have 4 pot dealers. Yeah, I got 4 pot dealers, and I keep them all in business because none of them ever show up. When I've got 4 pot dealers, and not one of them can come to my job at 10 o'clock. I get off work at 10 o'clock. Not one of them can do 10 o'clock. They want to come at 8 o'clock. They want to come at 7 o'clock. Okay. So now I run outside, and I meet you, and I pay you, and I come back in, and now in my jacket pocket is exotic bud, and it's on a coat hanger next to all the customers' jackets. And it's loud as fuck. If you didn't know, when weed is good, this is what the kids say. See, I'm trying to keep young. The kids say it's loud. Like when you're smoking good weed, you're smoking that loud. So, sometimes I would say, this weed is so loud, your deaf grandmother tells me to turn it down. See? Because she can't hear because she's deaf. It's fun. It's fun to explore hood slang sometimes. Speaking of hood slang, it's a perfect segue. The whole reason, and no, this wasn't just a weed rant. I'm leading into something. Be real. Be real from Cypress Hill. If you follow me on Twitter, Be Real is my new fucking hero. People, basketball players want to be like Mike. Fuck that. I want to be like Be Real. I want everything that Be Real has. Now, if you missed it, news came about 1 week ago. High Times Magazine 2014 Stoner of the Year, Be Real, has won a license to open a marijuana dispensary in Southern California's Orange County. Let that sink in. Cypress Hills, Be Real. Like Louis Armstrong, play that trumpet. I'll hit that bong and break you off something soon. Has his own dispensary, a Dr. Green Thumb dispensary. If you Be Real has a his alter ego is Dr. Green Thumb, and he has all these internet shows. I'm gonna forget them, but he's got the smoke box, and that's where he sits in a car with another rapper or actor like David Arquette recently, which was really odd, but okay. Where he sits in a car and they smoke it out and he interviews them. That goes on for like 15, 20 minutes. He also has Be Real TV. The Dr. Green Thumb show is daily from, I want to say 4 to 7, but I would definitely check out his Instagram. I would check out the Be Real TV Instagram just to double check that. And he's got a strain review show where he reviews strains. I mean, everything that this guy is doing, I want to be a part of. Just 6 of 630 applicants were awarded the right to open a dispensary. Talk about striking it rich. B Real's clearly got the marijuana Midas touch, considering that his company, Dr. Green Thumb, just won big at the SoCal Cannabis Cup. That's true. B Real has a strain called Jet Fuel that finished third in the flower department in the San Bernardino Cannabis Cup. And if you don't know, the Cannabis Cup is when growers come from all over the world to show off their weed. And I'm thinking the same thing. How the heck are you guys bringing drugs all over the place? I don't know. If I had a crumb of pot in my fucking bag when I was going somewhere, I'd be in prison in Guantanamo Bay right now, listening to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Be Real told Billboard we were actually there when the ball was pulled, and we were definitely excited. Out of 630 applicants, to be the top 6 of the first poll was very exciting for us. So we're extremely happy and optimistic towards how this is going to play out. See, it's not. This didn't happen where Be Real gave a. I mean, I'm sure that with the legalization of marijuana, with the marijuana industry in general, it's all about funding. But 630 balls, they grab B Reals. That's good times. There was no payoff here. If Snoop Dogg opened up a dispensary, that would be fishy. That'd be fishy to me. And again, you see, they're not letting everybody open. Everybody can't open up a smoke shop. Everyone can't open up a dispensary. You have to go through the proper procedures. And again, in this future of legal weed that I see, that I'm envisioning, I never envisioned walking down the street smoking pot. I don't want to do that. I never had any desire to do that. I never had any desire to infringe on what you're doing. I'm not going to walk down, pass you by the street, and I just wanted a store so I can meet the fucking person when I want to meet them and not have to deal with my boss passing by my jacket and smelling the high volume of my marijuana. That's all. Like if I could wake up in the morning, 9 o'clock, oh, store opens, I'm going to the store. That'd be so good to me. And I wouldn't have to see any of these 4 assholes who fail me on a daily basis. So, longtime marijuana aficionado said that his music career will add a boost to his weed ventures. He's been a vocal supporter of legalization in his lyrics over 2 decades, and of course, Be Real TV delivers daily news, smoking sessions, and cannabis culture. Yeah, this is huge for cannabis culture. The weed impresario said, "We're in a unique position because we have a lot of history behind us as it relates to music and the pro-legalization movement. I think it goes hand in hand. So for us to have a collective, I definitely want it to be eye candy, eye popping, eye catching, and experience. I want it to be the place where you can come get quality meds responsibly and all that stuff. But we want it to be an experience as well." And Be Real just released the mixtape, The Prescription, under his moniker Dr. Green Thumb, featuring collaborations from Absol, Dizzy Wright, Demerick, Snoop Dogg, Snow the Product, ASAP Ferg, and more. And a new Cypress Hill album will be out later this year. I did not know that, and I've been reading this article all week. So we got new Cypress Hill coming later this year. But speaking of that Be Real mixtape, you're probably saying to yourself, Jay, how do we feel about that? I actually forgot. I've actually been bumping it all week. It's good stuff. It's good times. You can download it for free at datpiff.com. And yes, you will never hear me sound as white as I sound when I say datpiff.com. But you could. And I had a question. I had a question that you're not going to answer because this is taped 12 hours before you're listening to it. This mixtape is free at datpiff.com. It's also on Be Real's YouTube, Be Real TV's YouTube channel. I downloaded it. Can I play this on my podcast? Can I play tracks? I don't make. Now, this isn't a shot, but let's go over the facts. I don't make money from the podcast. I'm not saying that, oh man, Andy's jipping me. No, I mean, like currently, I don't make money from the podcast. So it's not like if I play a song off this awesome mixtape, I'm going to somehow make money. That's not going to happen. It's not like someone's going to steal it because it's already on the internet for free in multiple places. If I was to get sued, I don't have any money. So if Be Real was to sue me, the only way I'd be able to pay him back is if he flew me out to California and I had to work in that Dr. Green Thumb dispensary. Man, wouldn't that be a terrible life for me? Said no one ever. So I find myself in a unique position where I would I would welcome a subpoena. I would welcome being sued right now. And let me add another thing. I tweeted about this. I tweeted, I wonder if I can play this track. And Be Real TV favored the tweet. So does that mean I can play it? While you're hitting the star button, you can't write yes or no? Or no? Because what I really want to do is I want Phuncky Feel tips on the podcast. I want to be talking about them every week because I dropped one and it really bothered me. It was slow motion when that thing fell out of my hand and hit the floor and broke into two pieces. I was saddened. But I already ordered another one. But I would like to have, more on deck. And some teacher, I'm down for whatever. I want to advertise this. I want to advertise I want to get on board with the biggest, with the fastest growing industry. There you go. Oh, I get it. It's the fastest growing industry. Growing? I just got that. All right, so what we're going to do, you know what? Fuck it. Andy, call a lawyer. I'm playing this. All right, first of all, I'm just going to. What I say and do on my podcast is not reflective of anything that the Deer Network wants me to do. I'm just saying that right now. But I'm going to play two tracks for you. Because fuck it, why not? This first track is called Kush Conversation, featuring Demerick. This whole thing, the first 5 tracks are labeled Be Real, and the last 6 tracks are labeled Dr. Green Thumb. So the first 5 tracks are very laid back, laid back weed smoking music. I'm not saying that this is the greatest album to ever hit the stores. It didn't hit the stores. It hit the internet. It's really good for a mixtape that was free. It's really awesome. And it really gets you in the mood. And it really speaks to someone like me who only wants to chill out, burn bud, and not bother anybody. So let's have a Kush conversation.
So many lights, 90 nights in my grow room. So many heights, taking flights when we hit the bloom. Started off a couple plants, blowing up the block. Best in the West, couldn't keep my shit in stock. Every time I harvest, buying off a cop, buying off a plot. Green thumb rising to the top. They ask who got the product, just tell them Green Thumb brought it. They understand quality over profit. I'm the top of the topic, I got the fuel if you want it. Take you to Paris and flaunt it, and I can shatter your nugget. And if you fuck with me, fuck it, we can thug it and take it any level and vape it, so all you bitches can save it.
Pass it to the left, put it in rotation. Never lose a step, all this paper that I'm chasing. All I see is green, and I'ma keep it blazing. Smoke you out with these kush conversations. I pass it to the left, put it in rotation. Never lose a step, all this paper that I'm chasing. All I see is green, and I'ma keep it blazing. Smoke you out with these kush conversations.
Pass it to the left, that's the realest shit. But when you roll it, put it on the Phuncky Feel tip. That's how we smokers do, you know we smoke a few. You silly bitches, man, you know this ain't promotional. Don't get emotional, I'm coasting so you learn the biz. Shout out to my partner Snoop, Burner, Currency, and Wiz. Man, I see you dizzy, you'll get the cover soon. Red and meth, come on, put me in how high too. My family smokes the best, represents from east to west. You know we roll the cushion, hell and let it fill your chest. Blowing out your lungs, savor the flavor, rookie. Let's call the Cookie Monster, roll it up with Paris pussy. Let's have a conversation, blazing up the medication. Sorry if I'm spacing, it's a form of meditation. It's called the high life, breathe and get your mind right. You see me shine bright, metal fucking high life.
I pass it to the left, put it in rotation. Never lose a step, all this paper that I'm chasing. All I see is green, and I'ma keep it blazing. Smoke you out with these kush conversations. I pass it to the left, put it in rotation. Never lose a step, all this paper that I'm chasing. All I see is green, and I'ma keep it blazing. Smoke you out with these kush conversations.
Bang. I'm not used to coming back from song. Especially since it's not like a radio station where it's not like I had the song well, I had the song playing, but it's not like I just came right back on. Like I stopped recording, played the song to pretend that I was radio stuff, and then I came back. Nothing crazy, you know, just some good laid back weed smoking music. That's all it is. Smoke you out with these kush conversations. But when we get to the second half of the mixtape, but it gets a little harder. And what I'm gonna do, because you've been so nice to put up with my first half. What I'm gonna do is deliver. I'm gonna deliver a second half of the podcast to you, full of headlines, emails, and me making fun of stuff. Me making fun of more stuff. So let's get Dr. Green Thumb featuring Dizzy Wright with Dabs. And then we'll come back after this.
DatPiff.com, the mixtape of
What's up? Smoke it till I pass out. 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 Take one hit of this dab. 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 What you smoking on? Put one hit on that nail. It's like you floating on. Calm down, we just hit fail. They call me Glob Monster. Take one hit, it won't call. He's Mr. Miyagi, baby. Green thumb, wax off, wax off. That shadow's dripping, we living higher than most. We won't come down. My wax is the fire that burns these pricky motherfuckers to the ground. Got that hardcore and that cure on my menu. Light another torch up, do another dab. Now we smoke at the venue. What's up? Smoke it till I pass out. What's up? Smoke it till I pass out. What's up? Smoke it till let me give you a taste. I'm in my lab, wanted dabbing, get out my face. I grip my Dabbergino green thumb competition. I take me a fat hit, mind state, lost my vision. I'm so fucking high, I'm riding on a satellite. I'm looking down at the world, you can't reach my height. We can't teach your type how to hit that big, how to get that right. Now we hit that big, now we take that flight. Flower made and we bake all night. Watch out, smoke it till I pass out. 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 Take one hit of this dab, take one hit of this dab. Take one hit of this dab, take one hit of this dab. Take one hit of this dab, take one hit of this dab. Take one hit of this dab, take one hit of this dab.
Take one hit of this ninja dab. Wax out, layups, toss up. Walk ups can't handle all this smoke in their chest by the way they cough up. Don't try to hang with the boys. You're not ready for that punch to the chest. Dizzy right with the Dr. Green Thumb. You know we have to come up with one for the West. Who smoke until they get stoned? Who smoke like us and make plans? High as fuck with hella fans, shaking hands. Them amateurs they can't stand. Hit the rig, then hit the stage. What's that? Wax out, wax out, wax out. Theme song, Stones turn to King Kong every time they bring this track out. Dab got me in the zone. The hippie finna stack 1,000. Chinky eyes would be real. I'm smoking Paris OG with the wax around it. That shit to put you on your ass. DJ Hopper put me on the glass. Now I tour the planet. All organic. We still getting high, but we doing it fast. So I told the big homie,
Watch out, smoke it till I pass out. 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 Take one hit of this dab, take one hit of this dab. Take one hit of this dab, take one hit of this dab. Take one hit of this dab, take one hit of this dab. Take one hit of this dab, take one hit of this dab.
You're now logged on to thatpiff.com.
Hey everybody, this is Andy from the Andy Dare Show, just thanking you for checking out the Jay Porks Experience. If you want to learn more about Jay, follow him on Twitter at JPorks. Follow him on Instagram at JPorks. JPorks.com for the podcast, articles, pictures, you name it. There's a running theme here. It's Jay Porks. So for 2015, if you want to support the Dare Podcast Network, all you got to do is go to theandydareshow.com and click on the Amazon banner, and you will be tipping your cap to the Jay Porks Experience and all the fine broadcasting here at Dare Network. Thanks for listening, and back to the Jay Porks Experience.
And we are back. That Dabs track is a little harder. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like if this was 1999, no, not 99. Let's say 2003, and you had a Honda Civic, and instead of having the back seat, you chose to put a huge subwoofer back there. That beat sounds like it would rattle the subwoofer, like wax out, wax out. Anyway. I've never done dabs. I'd like to. So if anyone wants to get down, I got cash. Okay. We've got... Are we doing headlines? Yeah. All right. Weekly, we've got the headlines, and they are always powered by Anti-Quiet. The new Anti-Quiet is on fleek. That's what the kids call cool. Anti-Quiet is returning to South by Southwest this year, March 21st, from noon to 6 at Clive Bar. That is a cool poster. If you're in Austin, you can check out Cancer Bats, Unlocking the Truth, B. Dolan, Death Valley Girls, Aaron Lee Tazjan, The American Spirit, Black Luck, and Free Pizza. No, that's not the name of some hipster band. You'll be hungover and you'll need pizza. So the free pizza is not a band. Free pizza is actually food. Look at this. Andy Quiet can afford to pay for free pizza for bands. That's cool. There's also a new Faith No More single called Superhero. That came out on the 1st. A new song from The Hives, Blood Red Moon. Bet you didn't think that was happening. And Noel Gallagher, I mentioned last week that Noel Gallagher was streaming on iTunes, but fuck iTunes. It's on Spotify now. It's everywhere. Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, the new record, Chasing Yesterday, is out. It's currently out. What else is going on? Well, we've got this. We've got Metallica news now. This was like yesterday. Maybe I found this more funny than anyone else. All right. First, let's remind you, Andy. If you follow Andy on Instagram or if you like the Deer Network on Facebook, you will notice on Tuesdays, besides the Jay Parks Experience, he puts up Tape Tuesday, and he's got a tape on Tuesday. It's pretty self-explanatory. You know, and I think that's rad. And I got some tapes, and I meant to send him a picture of those tapes. Anyway, so Metallica is going to reissue their 1982 demo, No Life Till Leather, limited edition on Record Store Day. On Record Store Day, they're going to release No Life Till Leather on cassette tape. On cassette tape on Record Store Day. What's going on here? I mean, I don't. Is Metallica missing the record part of Record Store Day? Isn't there a cassette day? Why hasn't someone made a cassette day? I'm sure there is. You know what? There is a cassettestoreday.us on Tumblr that says that it's September 27th. So, Metallica's a little late there. But isn't that interesting? I just found it weird that Metallica's going to take a day dedicated to vinyl and they're going to add plastic. Just thought that was odd to me. I'm telling you, man. Skimpy on headlines. I mean, here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to force things. I will never force a headline on you. I am not going to hit you with a weird festival in, Florida with one band I've heard of and a bunch of EDM artists on it. I'm not going to read that to you. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do me any good. So if we're sticking with new music, there's a new Modest Mouse song out. Definitely going to be on Brooklyn Vegan. The new song is called Of Course We Know. And it's from the forthcoming album Strangers to Ourselves. And they've announced tour dates that I'm going to hope are on. Yes, they are. I'm on Pitchfork. Sorry. I'm going to have to take a shower after this. But, Tampa, Athens, Chattanooga, Charleston, Raleigh, New York for 2 nights. That's Webster Hall. March. That's this month? Really? March 18th and 19th. Now, don't mind me as I talk slow because I want to see what 18th and 19th is on a Wednesday. I got to tell you, I can get to both those shows. I can get to either one of those shows. Well, let's reevaluate that statement. I am available to go to those shows if those shows were 50 cents or whatever. Buffalo, Ithaca, Pittsburgh. This is a huge East Coast here. Tennessee, Oklahoma City, Frisco, Washington. Really? Wait, what's... They're going Edgefest. Oh, they got the festivals. There's a Tinderbox festival? That's in Denmark. Do you have to swipe left or right to get in? See what I did there? See that? That was a little dating website humor. Dating website. That's the if there's one thing I can't find any humor in, it's that. You ever think it's weird that like there's dating websites that want you to sign up? If I'm gonna sign up, what's the intention? If I have to sign up and pay money, are you really gonna help me find somebody, or would you rather have me pay the monthly fee? Think about that for a second. Let that sit. Every podcast I just try to blow your mind one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Oh, also, new music, G-Unit The Beast is out. It's a 6-song EP, and it's pretty awesome. I was listening to them on Power 105 yesterday. Funny stuff, man. Funny stuff. But let's get to the emails. And if I had an email address where I can reach somebody from Phuncky Feel Tips, this would be the time where I would say, and the email segment is sponsored by Phuncky Feel Tips. Phuncky Feel Tips, bringing a smooth smoking experience to the smoking connoisseur near you. Yeah, emails. While I open up the emails, I just want to say that imagine if I played a Metallica song, they would fucking knock down my door now. So, emails, which I want to be sponsored by Phuncky Feel Tips, but they won't answer me back. It's not that they won't answer me back, I can't get to them. Well, it's okay, because I played Be Real songs earlier, so they're going to get in touch with me somehow, because there's no way that they're just going to let that rock. That ain't happening. Sophie. We have an email from Sophie here. You still haven't addressed your marriage comments. Swept them under the rug by calling them a joke. But all truth lies in all humor. We're still talking about this? A couple of weeks ago, I said that, first of all, I'm glad that somebody's listening. I really am. A couple weeks ago, I said that maybe people should evaluate their choices on spouses based on business connections and such, and I said that maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing. I was kidding. Leave me alone. I'm just alone. So I make jokes like that because I don't have anybody. That's why. And because it's funny. That's also a key component in this. I make jokes because they're funny, not because they're the truth. I tell the truth too. Sometimes my jokes are humor. Sometimes my jokes are true. Not that one. Davis writes, fuck STP with Chester. Should have gotten Vetter. Right, this person just wants to get me annoyed. But I was ready for that. I'll ignore the second part of your comment, and I will go to my Facebook page, where the other day I posted Stone Temple Pilots with Chester Bennington or Stone Chester Pilots doing, I want to say Big Empty, but I'm scrolling down the page until I get it. Really? Big Empty, there you go. So I made sure that on my Facebook page I noted that this, I'm not giving my opinion on how it sounds. I want you to listen to it, and I want people to give me their feedback without killing me because I didn't give my opinion. And dear the people commenting on my Annie Quiet post, get a life. People say, who gives a flying buck? Who gives a flying fuck? And this guy says, bring back Wyland, you losers. I'm just putting it out there that there's dates, because it's news, because it's a band I like. I don't force things on Anti-Quiet. When I post tour dates on Anti-Quiet, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I hope I can get to one of these shows. That's what I'm doing. Sorry that it wasn't some doom metal band that I've never heard of that you wanted me to pretend to be knowledgeable about so I can make you happy. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, you all actively know that I'm trying to get into Stone Temple Pilots at Irving Plaza in April. And I was listening to a couple of acoustic cuts. They had from a set they did in Arizona on September 26, 2013. That's when it was recorded. They just uploaded it to their YouTube page, and I put it up on my Facebook. And the replies are not amazing, but not bad. Sounds pretty good. Elmo Kirkwood said better than expected, if you want to get the celebrity in there. And my friend Roger says this was a tough one for someone other than Wyland to do, but the dude does all right. Yeah, here's the thing. They're not singing Stone Temple Pilots songs in the vein of Linkin Park songs. They're doing Stone Temple Pilots. And this isn't like... How do I put this? This isn't Paul McCartney playing with Dave Grohl, Chris Novoselic, and Pat Smear and calling it Nirvana, you know? This isn't what this is. This is... Scott Weiland had several opportunities to clean his act together. It's not like they gave him one chance. It's not like they gave him two chances. They gave this guy every chance in the world. This guy had 20 years to clean up his act. He had 20 years to clean up his act. So they fired him. And they hired somebody who's doing it. You really think... What do you want them to do? The opportunity came along. Chester does a good Weiland. Just like Miles Kennedy does a good Weiland. Chester's got range. And when they come to Irving Plaza, if they want to cover Linkin Park, they can call me on stage. I'll do the rap parts. If I can remember them. I used to like that shit. Not shit, it's good music. You know, that whole album. So, imagine if I played Metallica, they would fucking kill me. I'd have the police at my door now. So, folks, for all the people getting mad that Chester Bennington is the lead singer of the Stone Temple Pilots, what I say to you is, get a life. Don't listen to it. You don't have to listen to it. It's not like it's everywhere. Rock radio is a dead medium. It's not like websites are shoving it down your throat, because pretentious websites that only care about clickbait don't care about the Stone Temple Pilots. They've written them off. And this is breaking. I just want to not break it. It's breaking. It's not important. I just got an email that Bowling for Soup is coming to town and that I shouldn't miss the pre-sale code. I'll tell you about that. Here's the thing about Bowling for Soup. I will admit it is a guilty pleasure of mine to like a handful of songs by the band Bowling for Soup. About 3 years ago, when I was at my peak of hitting shows, when I was hitting shows all the time, I asked Justin from Concert Confessions to do me a favor. I said, listen, do me a favor. Email Bowling for Soup See if they'll let me into their show at the Gramercy Theater, whatever. It was like $20, but I figured, let's just see if I can get in press. They're Bowling for Soup. They get no coverage. Nobody's covering them. They've got 5 good songs. And the reply was no. So fuck you guys, all right? I was trying to give you... Jay Porks tried to give you credibility. And you decided not to take that. So you know what? When that show comes around and every website is giving away tickets, I won't even go. I won't even take the free tickets. You had your chance. You had your chance to get on the Jay Porks bandwagon. I still like that handful of songs. But you really told me that? You really said no. I am Jay motherfucking Porks. I can only do good things for you. It's okay. I got another email here. It's from Jim. And it says, don't you think DC should go the route of Colorado, Washington, Alaska, and open up stores? I covered that. They can't open up stores because they're not allowed to talk about it. Because it's against the law for them to have a conversation about taxing and regulating this, because they can't have a federal committee, because a federal committee, once they open those doors, federal money is being spent, and there's a rider in the omnibus spending bill that prevents any federal funding to be spent on Initiative 71. For an idiot, I sound pretty informed, don't I? See? News? We could just sprinkle some stuff in that I care about. Sprinkle some stuff in that I care about, and I'll read it. All right. Before I get up out of here, I'll give you the list of websites you need to go to help keep me in business. First of all, there is concertconfessions.com. That's for all your live music, news and reviews. For the fans. By the fans. Snowcore 2015 with Flyleaf is up there. Fit for Rivals. Adelita's Way. Framing Hanley. Got that. Got more. And stuff's coming. Because like I said, I'm working on trying to get into Stone Temple Pilots. Also, Mudhoney is playing the Bowery Ballroom on a Monday in July. I can promise you that is somewhere that I will be. Didn't Mudhoney play a few shows overseas with the Meat Puppets recently? Okay. ConcertConfessions.com for all your live news and reviews for the fans, by the fans. We've also got ChristinaRocks.com, Hang the DJ, 89xradio.com every Sunday morning. I was rocking with her on Sunday, and this is a good thing. Christina rocks me back to sleep. Like at 9, I set my alarm. I can't wake up for 8, I'll admit. That's a little crazy. But about 9:30, I start rolling out of bed. I go to my phone, I put in the website, I hit play, and I start hearing it. It's good times. It's good times had by all. And you can get her at ChristinaRocks.com. That's Hang the DJ. And it's 89xradio.com every Sunday morning. Rock it old school with the time warp. Also, theandydeershow.com. That's for all your Deer Network podcast needs, whether that's the Tyler Cale Show, whether that's the Andy Deer Show, or the sultry, silky smooth tones of the Jay Porks Experience. You can get that all at theandydeershow.com. Please don't you ever dare forget the in the URL. Because then you're just making it harder for yourself. And when you're at concertconfessions.com, when you're at theandydeershow.com, there's ads. Click them. Click them and buy stuff. You know what? Click them and don't buy stuff. Just click them so people are clicking them. Because, like I said, there's no money being made. We'd like to. And if there was money being made, believe me, I wouldn't openly play songs. Songs that are on free mixtapes. And, finally, AnnieQuiet.com, your source for quality, always bringing you the headlines. Until next week, folks. Hopefully next week. Hopefully on time. I'll be here. I'll be here rocking the 3 W's, and I hope you do too. Whiskey, weed, Warren Zevon. Late.
This has been the J Porks Experience. Thank you so much for listening.